Oh, oh, devadam, oriki devadam. Devadam, oriki devadam. Congratulations,
That
Turkey.
was a good one.
Wow.
That was a good one.
Congratulations, Turkey. Congratulations, Serbia, for giving us the best game of the
this
EuroBasket.
EuroBasket so
Wow,
far.
Wow.
Amazing. I was, for the first time in this tournament, I felt like I was watching maybe a semifinal or even a title game. Like it felt like it was the intensity, the level, the quality, the drama. I mean, it had everything to be a perfect title game, to be honest with you. And
Yeah.
my only hope is that I hope
This isn't the best game for the whole tournament? Is that your
Yeah,
hope?
and I would really like to see those two teams fighting for
Yeah. Again.
title.
Yeah.
Of course, there's Germany. They have their own plans, but like I wouldn't mind if this game was a final game because it was an amazing one.
For sure. The talent level on the court that really showed up when it mattered. We were saying some of these teams, especially Serbia, looked lackadaisical a little bit against the weaker opponents. They showed up. They brought all they could without Bogdan Bogdanovic, and then without another guy that we'll talk about. In terms of Turkey, they showed up even bigger than life Şengün performance, close to a triple-double, 28 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, and I would say, how do they say it? When it's a teacher and someone who's the student outgrew the teacher, something like that. You know, like we got these comparisons, Şengün and Jokic in this game, in particular, this moment of the tournament. Alperen Şengün had a better game and it ended up with a victory that guarantees the first spot for Turkey in Group A. Correct.
Jokic had 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. They were -7 with Jokic on the floor, which is weird.
Is it though?
I mean, he played almost the entire game.
Yeah.
Although, like, Şengün played more than 36 minutes, and when he was on the floor, Turkey was +9. So, yeah, interesting stats. But anyways, it's not the most important thing. Şengün played an amazing game, and I think that this game kind of got the best of Alperen Şengün we've seen so far, potentially.
On the FIBA court?
Maybe ever. I mean, he never hit 4 threes in a game, right? Whether it was an NBA game
is that
or
true?
FIBA game.
Oh,
I think so.
okay.
I saw our guys on Slack were chatting about it. And he was awesome moving the ball. He was awesome scoring when it was needed.
Defending when it was needed. Let's talk about the ending. Serbia had the possession where they could have tied the game.
He stole the crucial ball from Marko Guduric in a crucial possession. And I'm not sure if he ever played the game of, okay, it's not even a medal game, but it felt like, you know, playing for Turkey is bigger than any NBA game he had before. And especially when you're facing Jokic and this Serbia team that was recognized as the best team in the tournament. I think that we potentially saw the best of Alperen Şengün, really.
For sure.
I'm not sure if we could ask more from him, really. Of course, he can do better, but to me, he was almost close to perfect.
He used all of his advantages he could against Nikola Jokic from the very beginning. You could tell that Nikola knew that if I'm too close, Alperen has the quickness on me, and when Jokic did get too close, Alperen would attack him one-on-one. At the end, we saw another situation similar to that, where he almost got an N1 bucket attacking Jokic on ISO. And yeah, he was just using his quickness. And then when Jokic left some space in between, he nailed down those shots, like you said, 4 of 4 from 3. Not 4 of 4, but 4 made threes rather, and some mid-range shots. He just was attacking and playmaking, doing everything. Those couple of passes he found, like cutting Cedi Osman when he needed to cut.
Yeah.
Like the team was flowing, and we'll talk about all the heroes of that team in this game because there were quite a few.
But that's the main thing. He kind of had this perfect game, and we would say, outperformed Jokic also because I think that he had better partners around him in this game. Shane Larkin was peak Shane Larkin.
This was the best Shane Larkin I've seen in 3 years, probably.
23 points.
Wow.
5 of 8 from the 3-point line. 9 assists. 29 efficiency. He played over 39 minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
And you remember in
42
the
seconds
beginning
of
of the
rest.
group stage, we were saying this team is really promising. We didn't see the best of Shane Larkin yet, although that team didn't need him to be that, and he was about to show himself in those games when it really matters. It mattered today, and he was hot from the beginning, and he was peak Shane Larkin. And to have him next to Alperen Şengün, that's a way to win the EuroBasket, you know? So, and on top of that, you have Cedi Osman, who has 16 points, and you have all this group of great role players from your favorite EuroBasket players. Sermush Hazer, Sipahi was solid, Korkmaz, he hit
Korkmaz
some
hit 2 of 2.
important threes.
Yep.
And of course, the funny thing is that Turkey made their first substitution, I think, in the very last minute of the first quarter. I mean, you see Şengün over 36 minutes, Larkin 39, Osman 33, Osmani 35, and also amazing game. And you can say that this fatigue thing can affect them a little bit, because if you want to win gold, you still have to win 4 games. It might be difficult.
Yeah, but now Donatas, the good part is they got themselves into the, let's say, not the weaker, but like into the bracket side that
You want
should
to be
favor
on.
them. Huh?
In the bracket side, you want to be on.
Exactly. And now there's going to be breaks in between the games, bigger breaks, let's say, because of the,
Yeah.
the knockouts. They happen every few days. It's not like every second day it'll be bigger breaks.
That's true. That's true.
And clearly Ataman trusts his 5 guys the most, and goes with them and doesn't bat an eye. But yeah, like I think you mentioned all the great guys. Not much to say. I was expecting, to be honest, Serbia to slow Turkey down, because I knew Turkey was a great offensive team and they have all this talent. But I thought against a tougher defense, a defense that could slow them down. They won't score 95 points, but what we saw was incredible. And to be fair, you said you're a bit surprised about the stats that Jokic was -7 or something like that when he was on the court. But on the other hand, he was being attacked a lot, and you could see that he's a bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit out of shape, like a little bit slower
I
footed.
think he's peak for shape for sure.
Yeah, and he was being attacked. He couldn't make the rotation, so then at some point they started playing zone at the end, which helped actually, because then Jokic could just stay under the basket, or with Nikola Milutinov, he was just on the wing. Still, that's less, moving around, and and I think Şengün doesn't have as much of a problem. He cannot be attacked on the perimeter as much, but he can be attacked under the rim more, like. Now, if we look at the other side, Jokic was dominating when he got inside of the paint. And that's where it started from the beginning. And that's where I want to say my biggest point about, you said, who had the better game. And you said because of who he had around him.
Also because of who he had around him.
I would say also because of what's the game plan. Because the game plan for Turkey is to involve Alperen Şengün in every single possession. And the game plan for Serbia seems sometimes to be involve everyone in the possession and sometimes forget about involving Jokic, actually. Some of these possessions, he doesn't even touch the ball or touches it last and then passes it to someone else. And it doesn't seem like he's, taking the initiative as much as I would like him to. But at the same time, like post-up situations, we saw him dominate, score every single time he got a ball in there. But why do you only, go there so few times? I feel like you could do that more. And later on, as the game progressed, we saw Jokic getting more touches, getting more opportunities to score, and he did. But generally speaking, I would like to see less of Stefan Jovic taking 3-pointers and more of Nikola Jokic playing one-on-one ISO even in the post and then creating from there. And I want to see a bit more movement in their offense off ball.
I have some notes that I said that Jokic and Serbia kind of pushed Şengün to be the best version of himself. And I think that we obviously saw the best version of Jokic because he wasn't subbed in the entire first quarter. He also played almost 33 minutes. And if you mentioned if there's any concerns about his shape, that's a lot. That means a lot to play that much. But I cannot ignore the fact that Jokic already in the tournament he lost his Robin, Bogi Bogdanovic, and to me he's the key of a great ball movement and offensive flow of Serbia, because now they don't have this partner, and without him there's not such flow happening on the defensive end. You can't utilize Jokic that good because it feels like that Bogi was perfect partner to Nikola, because he could find himself some good looks moving off the ball. He could slash, he could drive, he could find ways to score inside as well. Bogi moves really well without the ball, and he was a perfect fit to Nikola Jokic. Then you put guys like, Avramovic, Micic, Jovic, Nikola Jovic around them, and the flow would be different. Here, Bogi is out. You have freaking Alexa Avramovic out in the beginning of the third quarter.
Second quarter, at the end of the second quarter, yeah.
Who was their best guard, basically. The best all-around guard. Marko Guduric, he had another solid game, and there are some reasonable hopes because he had a really good season with Fenerbahce. But Avramovic out. You had Micic, who had a promising first half.
Yeah.
But in second half,
he didn't play as much.
Once again, you got this feeling that he's so far from, we mentioned peak Larkin, he's so far from peak Micic. There were at least two situations. One where he had a great screen and he could try to attempt a three-pointer. He hesitated. I don't remember what he did, but the possession was kind of, dead end. It didn't end well. There was another time when he made a turnover, I think, just because he was almost forced to make a turnover by Larkin, because Larkin was asking for a turnover for traveling. I didn't see what happened, but it was a clear hesitation from Micic, and we are talking about the guys who had to help Jokic, and to beat this great Turkey team, you need more help around Jokic, and it was just amazing game. Amazing Turkish performance.
It's crazy how quickly we went from Serbia being undisputed favorites to win it all. That was before the tournament. And now, okay, they didn't have Tristan Vukcevic in this game as well. But then Bogi Bogdanovic gets injured and we see them struggle. And now we see them lose against Turkey. And
they're losing Avramovic's
situation, we'll
not
see.
Getting into his rhythm.
And now it's like Serbia...
The race is open?
Are they second or third in the race? Because Germany is clearly number one right now. Is Turkey now the team to watch to be essentially in the final?
Today, Turkey would be my number 2 team after Germany, but I think Serbia just needs more time. First of all, to get Vasa in medal shape, let's put it this way, to hopefully have Alexa Avramovic healthy, and just again to feel the rhythm, how to play with Nikola, because we saw some really solid stretches. In the first half it was like a little bit sloppy, but in the second it felt like they got the rhythm. I liked the way they used Milutinov and Jokic. In the first half they were +5 with Milutinov. Before the turning point of the game when Turkey managed to get the lead, they were also +4 or 6 with Milutinov and Jokic. So it worked, and they tested it only in the game against meaningless game before playing this one against Turkey. So, I mean, in a couple of games they might get better, but I mean, things are getting interesting.
It's very interesting because I'm looking at the bracket right now. Germany and Serbia are on the same side of the bracket, which means that it's unavoidable if they both win all of their round of 16 quarterfinals, that they would play in the semifinal if these teams go that far. Then the other possible teams there, remember we talked about Group D and their situation, and yesterday's game where France didn't, was it yesterday? I don't remember anymore days, but essentially if Israel wins against Slovenia,
Yeah.
France might be third. And if that's the case, they're also on this side of the bracket. So that would mean that the top 3 ranked teams in our power ranking would all be on the same side of the bracket. And we would have like Turkey, we would have
Hey, Greece. Don't forget Greece. But
Greece.
you can compare
Depending
Greece
on where
and Turkey
they
at the
end,
moment.
they're probably if they end C2, I mean, they could also be on this side. It might be crazy, but that one side of the bracket might be very different from the other.
Again, we can actually see this game in a title game. This duo,
Yes,
Serbia and
now
Turkey.
it's possible. Now it's possible.
The last thing I wanted to mention, because there's been a lot of hype about Jokic versus Şengün, and I love this sequence where I think first Jokic was the one who made a hook shot or in a low post against Şengün, and you could hear Serbian fans MVP, MVP, MVP. On the opposite end, the very next possession, Şengün hits a 3 over Jokic, and you could hear MVP, MVP, and it's obviously Turkish fans. So I mean, it was a tremendous night. I mean, I was super happy to watch that game. It just it feels like the EuroBasket stars now, really.
And if you want to keep up with EuroBasket with these great games, great social media posts, you could check out BasketNews on Instagram. You could check out BasketNews on Twitter. You can check out, obviously, this channel. We react to pretty much all the biggest, most discussed and most interesting things we can think of every game that matters. And we do it right after the games, as you can tell right now. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and put the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any of these new videos. And also check out basketnews.com for all the updates on every game, every injury, every event of the EuroBasket.